Hello everyone, this is Suneve and I'm coming to you with Can You Teach Me How to Smile Again? An Eyeless Jack X Reader by RoseBlue26. We're going to be starting off with Chapter 15, Jane's POV. She stayed silent as we dragged her to my room. Even her expression is hard to read, but I guess we all liked that when we were first joined the family. And she's not joining as a pasta like us, she's joining as Sunderman's daughter, and that alone was a surprise for us. Once we entered my room, Clockwork and I seated each side of Wyan on the bed. Nice room, she said politely. Thanks. Clockwork's room is just on the right of my room, so if you need anything, don't be shy to ask, okay? I said. Yeah, we girls need to stay together after all, Clockwork added with a big smile. Wyan just nodded. All right, thank you, she mumbled. I'm guessing she's not good with socializing with new people. So, what do you like to do? Clockwork asked enthusiastically. Wyan just hummed before rubbing the back of her neck. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I'm being all awkward. It's just that I have never done anything like hang out or socialized much. We just blinked. She never hanged out with anybody? You never hang out? Don't you ever have any friends or anything? Then what did you do to pass your day? I asked her. She just shook her head. No, I don't have any friends or family. It's just me and my cameras. I just went out for a walk and took some pictures of other things. That's boring. Clockwork whined and collapsed on the bed. I just chuckled and Wyan shrugged. In the end, we just chat and talk about how we all ended up in the mansion. You're going to love it here. If you're one of the pastas, we can go do some killing sprees together, Clockwork said. I'm sorry if I said something wrong, but is killing people fun? Why do you kill people anyway? Wyan asked. Clockwork just glanced at me as if to let me explain to her. Well, in a way, yes, it does give us a satisfaction. But you don't have to worry. We didn't kill innocent people or children like the other humans did. We just killed the ones on the list. The bad guys, or as we like to call the corrupted ones, I explained. Wyan just nodded. And just then there was a knock heard. Who is it? I asked, annoyed by whoever it was that was disturbing us. It's me, Sally, and Charlie, the person replied before the door opened up and revealing the little girl with her bear. Big sis, you're here, she said, running towards Wyan. Wyan just nodded and patted her little head. Hey, Wyan, you do know that Sally here is a pasta too, right? I asked as I picked Sally to sit on my lap. Sally just giggled and hugged her bear. Wyan blinked and said, She is? I thought she was just, like Sunder took her in, like me. Sally giggled and replied, No, I'm a pasta too. I'm like Ben or Wraith, she said, grinning. Oh, she replied. So, I'm the only one then, she continued, and we all just nodded. Big sis, can I ask you to do something? Sally asked Wyan. She just nodded and waited for Sally's request. Can you smile again? Like this? She said, showing her big smile. Sally, you know I don't know how to do that consciously, she said. Sally's big smile still remained the same. Just imitate mine, see? She pointed to the smile on her face. Sally, you shouldn't ask people to do something like that. And Wyan, you don't have to worry. You'll get used to us, and don't forget to just be yourself, I said, smiling. Clockwork was smiling while nodding. Wyan watched the three of us and started to attempt to do something that made us laugh. She tried to smile, but her smile was twitching, indicating it was a forced smile. All of us just laughed our asses off, which only left Wyan to take my pillow and cover her blushing face. I'm not going to try that again, her voice muffled by the pillow. Once our laughs had ceased, I tried to pull away my pillow from her. Come on, okay, we're sorry. It's just that your smile was too forceful. A smile is something relaxing, and you can practice it when you get the hang of it, and it will make you feel great, I promise, I said, patting her hair. She just peeked a little from the pillow and mumbled. All right. She is just like a child here. An innocent child. Time skipped to dinner time. Toby's POV. During the dinner time, we all seated in our seats. Wyan's seat beside Sally and Jack. I sat across from her and everything just went as usual. Nothing out of the place, but Masky and Hoodie was not joining us. I'm bored, I mumbled to myself. I noticed that Wyan was staring at me for a while before continuing to eat her dinner like the others, except for Jack, who just sat there. I went outside for some fresh air after dinner, and I saw Smiley come from the forest with a stick. Do you want to play? I asked, taking the stick from him and playing fetch with him. Hey. A voice heard from behind me, and I turned and saw Wyan walking from the back door towards me. Hey, what are you doing out here? I asked her, and she just shrugged and sat beside me. I just needed some air. What about you? Where's Masky and Hoodie? She asked, and just then Smiley came back with a stick. I took it and threw it again. They're out for some missions. I'm bored, so that's why I'm out here, I said, which only received a nod from her. Smiley came back again and sniffed Wyan. Hello there, she said to Smiley and scratched behind his ear. He smiled and made Wyan shocked. I chuckled and said, his name is Smiley. He's Jeff's dog. Oh, she nodded, and took the stick and threw it out for Smiley. Hey, Toby, do you want to do something? She asked. I looked at her confused. Why is she asking me this? Didn't she always hang out with Jack or Sally? She noticed that I was staring at her and replied, Well, you seem pretty bored and lonely since dinner, so I thought maybe you wanted to do something. Really? I asked, smiling and standing up. She nodded and replied, Yeah, as long as I didn't have to use my left arm, it should be fine. Because if I reopen my wound again, I will be scolded by Dad and Jack for who knows how long. Yeah, they both are going to have my head and kidney if that happened, I said, shivering. What to do? Now that I have a partner for fun, I also have to keep an eye on her. So it's just like killing two birds with one stone. We can't do some sparring, I said, thinking of what to do, while Ryan's eyes widened at first. Oh, I know what to do. Let's prank Jeff and Ben, I said, and took her hand, leading her into the mansion. What? Are you sure that's safe? She asked. I chuckled and reassured her that it's going to be fine. If we get caught, I'll take all the blame. I promise to protect you, I said, smiling. All right, if you say so, she replied. And so the prank began. We mixed up the wires of Ben's games consoles, which resulted in Ben getting frustrated when he tried to play his games, and he had to reconnect all back while crying. Ryan felt bad for doing so, but I reassured her that it was all right. Next up, Jeff. I ushered Ryan to get into his room to get Jeff's white hoodie while I guard on the outside. She came out with it and went into the washing room. I put his hoodie with Sally's pink dress into the machine and just waited. After it was done, I took it out and showed Ryan. Ta-da, and here's the results. A pink hoodie, I said proudly. Just then, Jeff came into the washroom and saw I was holding up his once was white hoodie. Ryan was pale white and hiding behind me. Oh dear, I guess he found out where the plan finished. Oh, hey, Jeff, I was just helping you with the laundry, I said, laughing nervously. Oh, were you now? And kindly tell me, why is it pink now? He said, gritting his teeth. I just looked at his hoodie and then to him and then back to the hoodie. Oopsie, I replied before tossing the hoodie to him and carrying Ryan bridal style out of the washing room. Oh, she exclaimed with a red face, which was more just jumbled up noises. It's time to make a run for her life, I said, carrying her with me and laughing. Hold on tight. I continued just picking up the pace. Toby, get back here, you son of a bitch, Jeff shouted, chasing us all around the mansion. And suddenly, Sally shouted from her room, Jeff, don't say the bad word. Not today, I hollered. Ryan's POV. Toby carried me around the mansion, avoiding the angry Jeff. He was laughing all the way over our attempted escape, so he felt happy when he annoyed the others, huh? I looked back and saw a very angry and annoyed Jeff chasing us with his now pink hoodie in hand, and I shrieked when I saw he was getting near us. Just then, black tendrils picked up Jeff and Toby by their collar. What's the meaning of this? Dad asked the two of them, still holding them up. He started it. Look what he done to my hoodie, Jeff said, showing his hoodie. Toby just shrugged and replied, It looks more beautiful now. I want both of you to stop it, Dad ordered, Jeff holding his head in pain while Toby just smirked looking at Jeff. Dad must have caused a static, and he can't feel it because of me. Dad noticed it and took me away from Toby, leaving him experiencing the pain. He stopped the disturbances and released both of them, while I'm still hanging, being held up by the waist. I don't want to hear any problems tonight. Toby, you'll clean Jeff's hoodie back to white and Ryan, he said before pausing and kept staring at me. Both Jeff and Toby also stared. That's when I realized I was smiling and giggling to myself, experiencing the thrill in watching both of them. I was happy with my own little adventure for this night, but for once I didn't stop the smile even I know I was being stared at. Toby also grinned, happy as well, I guess, and Jeff just looked dumbfounded and Dad just sighed before putting me down. I think that's enough of you hanging around Toby for today. Go back to your room to sleep, Dad said, patting my head. I just nodded and went to Jack's room. When I had reached in front of the room, I knocked the door first. I still needed to respect his privacy. Jack, are you in there? I asked. Yeah, just come in, he said, from the other side of the door. I opened the door and peeked inside, and Jack was sitting against the bed frame reading a book. What are you standing there for? He asked, putting his book down. I walked inside and closed the door. What are you reading? I asked, sitting on the bedside. He just showed me the cover of the book without saying anything. Human body anatomy. You really like biology stuff, huh? I mumbled. He just shrugged and got off the bed, putting his book away. He took the medical box and put it on the nightstand. Let's clean it up before you go to sleep, he said, taking out the supplies while I took off my shirt, leaving me with my bra only. I still can't get used to this, even though we have done it a couple of times. He cleaned it up and rebandaged the wound, and I put my shirt carefully back on inside. Today was an interesting day. I look around the room wondering where I can sleep, and suddenly Jack spoke up. You can take the bed, he said, sitting down on his chair, trying to be comfortable. I look at the bed and then back to him. No, it's okay. I can sleep on the floor. I just need some blankets and an extra pillow, I said, getting up to prepare my bed. Jack stood up and pushed me gently back to the bed. Sleep. Now. I'll be fine. The chair is comfy enough for me, he said, insisting on me to take the bed. I felt bad as I was not only taking away his privacy, he also needed to sleep on the chair while I got to sleep on his comfy bed. I looked at him and then back to the bed again, and the bed is pretty spacious. I take a deep breath and said something that I couldn't believe I would say. I'll take the bed, only if you agree to share it with me. The bed is pretty spacious, and it can fit both of us. But besides, I already feel bad that I have to make you sleep on the chair. This morning you had a body ache for sleeping on it, and you don't have to lie to me, I said, mumbling the last part as I felt the heat on my cheeks getting worse. I steal a glance at him before looking back at my hand on my lap, and suddenly Jack broke the silence. You won't give up on it, will you? I simply shake my head, and he let out a defeated sigh and before agreeing to take the bed too. Fine. You take that side, and I'll take here, he said, ushering me to the side near the wall. I don't want you to fall from the bed and get more injuries, he said, smirking. I just put out my tongue and pulled the covers over me, and I heard Jack chuckle before he turned off the light and climbed into the bed too. It felt so awkward. Why didn't I just take the floor? I take a peek over my shoulder and saw Jack was facing the other way. I observed his breathing pattern. It was getting calmer. And once I convinced myself that he was already asleep, I shifted slowly to face his back. He sure had broad shoulders. He's not too thin or too muscular. And seeing him sleeping near me made me feel safe for some reason. My eyes started to flutter to close, and I quietly let myself drift off to sleep. That is the end of that chapter. The chapter after that one is chapter 16, starting with Ryan's POV. Let me know how you guys felt about that, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!